United score
Yeah.
goals because of the Stretford end.
This
एक
is
साल
हाँ
just
दो
a
साल, yeah,
desperation mode from everyone
correct,
to save expenses
correct.
from however they can.
तेरा
Yeah.
ambition is just like that 3-0 on that graphic.
Ineos will handle the operation. So let's call the elephant in the room now. So people are extremely divided, and Buggy is a live example of, not a fan of Sir Jim Ratcliffe's operations, the decision making process. And though I agree, we all have seen the interview, we all know what he has said, we all knew what were the circumstances. But I am not defending him, I'm not going to defend anybody. It's sad when anyone loses their job. But I would say one thing, ये सब करना पड़ रहा है उसके पीछे there is a big family who sits in US, and
Yeah.
that family has been neglecting the whole operation since so many years. So उसी का circle में वो वापस it is coming back and biting the asses. And before we move ahead, if you are coming here for the first time, please like the video, subscribe to the channel. This is what I feel.
Yeah. See, I completely, by the way, like on Ratcliffe, and for example the interview that he did with Gary Neville with BBC, whatever he talked there, I think जो वो बोल रहा है correct ही बोल रहा है, in the sense that his diagnosis of the problem, the illness at United is correct. He has identified that rightly, that we are losing more money than we are earning. It's as simple as that. And then we are not winning any trophy, so basically कुछ नहीं है. My only thing is that आई फील लाइक उसके कंधे पे बंदूक रख के चलाने वाला सीन हो रहा है, वेयर इट इज मोस्टली द ग्लेजर्स फॉल्ट्स. Why all this is happening, mostly क्या, it is entirely the glazers fault only.
Exactly.
But Ratcliffe is taking the shots for it because he is having to make the difficult decisions that,
Hmm.
लाइक सी, इट्स ऑल्सो लाइक कि ये 10 साल तक तुमने कुछ अच्छे डिसीजंस लिए नहीं हो, ये कल्मिनेट होके नाउ इट इज कॉस्टिंग पीपल देयर जॉब्स. हैड यू टेकन, इफ यू स्प्रेड आउट सच मिस्टेक्स ओवर 10 years, देन वो उतना ड्रास्टिक नहीं होगा, बट वो कॉन्सेंट्रेटेड सारी चीजें एक साथ हो रही है. आई थिंक इट लुक्स वर्स दैट वे. So overall, I think see, I'm okay with Ratcliffe. At least he's communicating. I mean, अपना वही standard है. 20 years में I've
And
never heard like Glazers talk at all. So at least this guy
exactly.
is coming out and talking about it, and many things he's correct on. But at the same time, like, he has also done blunders, but ठीक है, that's fine.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But he owns
But
up to his blunders. I think in
Yeah,
the
yeah,
interview he
that's
very
fair.
well acknowledged कि भाई
That,
टेन हैग वाला मिस्टेक था. ये डैन एशवर्ड वाला मिस्टेक था. हमने मिस्टेक नाउ ऑफ कोर्स दोस वर कॉस्टली मिस्टेक्स. ऑलरेडी तुम्हारे पैसे जा रहे हैं उसके ऊपर से अब वापस से नाउ यू आर piling up on that money. I think all these years we were just desperate for somebody who's showing accountability. Here is a person who's showing that. I think the basics have been corrected.
hmm,
But now we need to put क्या है वो phrase, you put money where the mouth is, ऐसा ना.
money where your mouth
हाँ
is.
तो
Yeah.
हाँ, yeah, you have to do that. I think entire ये, even if I go back to the argument around stadium, I think of course a lot of people are asking कि भाई पैसे कहाँ से आएंगे. तो I feel कि भाई inevitably the debt will have to be incurred once again to get the stadium, because even if you look at the stadium's plan, it is a part of the Manchester regeneration project, but the stadium itself is not. It is just the
Yeah.
area surrounding the stadium.
hmm.
So you need to, there are a lot of questions, and of course the timing of it probably. I think Ineos का PR game बहुत बेकार है.
बहुत बेकार है.
Because
Yeah.
if you look at it, अभी जस्ट एक दिन वो स्टेडियम अनवील के एक दिन पहले बोल रहे भाई पैसे नहीं है, देन यू आर अनवीलिंग द ग्रेटेस्ट स्टेडियम
Yeah.
ऑन अर्थ. ठीक है,
Yeah.
थोड़ा मतलब दे नीड टू वर्क ऑन दैट फ्रंट, बट
Their
आई गेस.
their PR is Muppeteers.
Yeah. No, in the
So
interview also, with Gary Neville, this whole PR bit that is there. And one example from that interview is that Gary Neville उसको बोला कि you have cut out like that ex players को United used to pay, who played at United during the 60s and 70s, तो उनको एक nominal amount मिलता है for your contribution to the club. That entire cost is just 40,000 pounds per year, which is
Hmm.
chindi paisa. ठीक है, like you pay more to academy players probably in a year. So
Hmm.
what Gary Neville said that to Ratcliffe के तुमने ऐसा क्यों नहीं किया, ये 40,000 काटने की जरूरत क्या थी? Why did you not sort of host, let's say, a charity gala where you could keep, like, let's say, Bruno or Harry Maguire, and invite like those gala event
Hmm.
where you have to pay a charitable sum and then you get entry and access to that dinner. You could have easily raised that money. And Gary Neville का point ये अच्छा था ना कि I am not disappointed that you are not doing this. I am more disappointed that there are not people around you who are suggesting these creative solutions to you right now, because right now you are in cut mode, but these are sort of these creative solutions to these problems can come up. And Ratcliffe actually admit bhi kiya कि you're right, nobody suggested
Hmm.
this to me.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
In that interview, I also noticed. I think, see, Ratcliffe cannot be directly involved in United का work. ठीक है, I don't
Hmm.
want to be overly defensive about Ratcliffe, but I will say this because I noticed this during the interview. Is that Ratcliffe, first of all, will not know the daily functions of United, of course, because that his job is basically to put a management team that is capable
Hmm.
enough.
Hmm.
ठीक
Hmm.
है, now that management team decides.
Hmm.
Of course, they could have come up with that solution that is there, but I think one thing which definitely there is only one way in which Radcliffe thinks, because even during the interview certain things like वो हमेशा ना वो ये सैलरी वगैरह नहीं बोलता, वो बोलता था यार बिल्स बिल्स इतने
Hmm.
हैं,
Hmm.
बिल्स इतने हैं, ठीक है. He is in that total finance mode. I think he is currently approaching, he has inherited this club with financial problems. He is solely and solely focused on the sorting out of finances, and that is taking a lot of his time and attention, which inevitably बाकी सब वो जो एक होता है ना एक फ्रीडम कि भाई तुम इसको कोई और सोल्यूशन सोचो, वो निकल के नहीं आ
Hmm.
रहा है, because I think these guys are just very much busy dousing the fire that is there right now.
Yeah.
Okay. So I think that can be the only plausible explanation. But
Hmm.
yeah, I think you just can't be doing one thing. I mean, this problem
He
requires a multi-pronged approach. So
He also
you
said
need to.
as much in the interview when Gary Neville asked him that why can't we do both, which is run a
Mm,
profitable club and also take care of our own. To
yeah.
which he said that right now we cannot afford that generosity, but in
Yeah.
3 years we expect United to be the most profitable club in the world, and perhaps that is when we can again start thinking about increasing some of our I don't like the him using the word generosity and all, because मेहरबानी नहीं कर रहा है, right? Like
वो तो
you're
फाइनेंशियल
it's a very
टर्म्स एंड
भाई
पीपल
देख,
business
प्लीजिंग
अब
language.
टर्म्स,
ये
Yeah.
या
जमाना
बिजनेस
गया.
लैंग्वेज है
This is
काफी.
a business that they are running. It is
Yeah,
as true as education now has become business. Sports has also
Yeah.
become business, and
just like how
now,
we say as discussed on a phone call,
ha,
here's the email.
and
So
But
and
that's okay, we can
and
still disagree about it, we can still
I know,
be a bit.
and see, this is something which is a reflection of modern football, because even I was like searching for things around. जैसे West Ham है, any new stadium that has come up, ठीक है, be it Highbury, be it Olympic Stadium, ठीक है, यहाँ पे इन सब ने ticket prices बढ़ाए हैं, which
Hmm.
hmm,
Ratcliffe has also mentioned that it is inevitable कि ticket prices बढ़ेंगे, but that is going to happen, that is bound to happen, because by the ultimately you are a club, fine, you need your finances straight, because that finances will only fuel where your club is going to be. Like there has to be this sort of a feedback loop, and ultimately तुम देखो ना, वो खुद बोल रहा था कि जो तुम्हारे डिस्काउंटेड वाले जो है, ठीक है, जो डिस्काउंटेड प्राइसेस में जो बेच रहे हैं, वो भी मतलब बिक गए. So there is now no incentive for them to really, he had mentioned for the viewers, by the way, that the they had about from 78,000 people, about
Some 500 tickets,
some
right?
500 tickets
Yeah.
were returned. ठीक है. तो 500 people had returned back saying कि भाई I cannot afford the new increased price, so I want to sell it back to the club. The club readily sold it at a higher price. So he said very categorically, "Bhai, if we are capable of selling it at a higher price, we'll do it." So I think
Yeah.
Mm.
all the clubs are probably now forced to do it, or I think it's a new news. It's a new normal in football. So I think we just have to take it as it
My
comes.
my only sort of annoyance with that is that then जो stadium का culture है, you are kind of killing that by inviting basically tourists, right, who are able to pay more,
But that
and
is
that
what
is where I'm.
that is
Yeah.
By
what tourist will
that
bring
is
you
why
the
we are
money.
making a hundred
No, but
thousand seater stadium.
that's I know, but I'm saying that there should be, like, for example, let's say Stratford End
Hmm.
prices should be freezed, and I think like जो corporate boxes हैं,
Hmm.
especially जो basically Sir Alex के पीछे बैठते हैं, charge them more, they will come, they will always come. So
But the
I think,
quantity of those
again,
boxes
and
and
goes back to
quantity
the
of
whole point,
those,
back to Buggy's whole point, जहाँ वो अभी full finance mode में है, so they are unable to come up with these sort of क्रिएटिव आइडियाज के हम कहाँ से क्या काउंटर बैलेंस कर
hmm,
सकते हैं,
hmm, hmm,
कहाँ से
hmm.
ज्यादा पैसे आ सकते हैं, कहाँ पे हमें प्रोटेक्ट करना है, बिकॉज एट द एंड ऑफ द डे द फैंस दैट गो टू स्ट्रेटफोर्ड एंड they legitimately earn you points throughout the season. There are times where Stretford End के noise से United win points, United score
Yeah,
goals because of the Stretford end. So I think that is intangible है वो obviously, but it is a big factor. So I don't think so you should kill that culture. I think you should try
Hmm.
to squeeze more out of the sort of corporate box, और ये जो tourists जाते हैं, those that kind of tickets.
yeah. I think the business tactics eventually will be aligned
Yeah,
with
I also think so.
everybody. I
आएगा वो
feel
maybe
this
एक
is
साल
हाँ.
just
दो
a
साल Yeah,
desperation mode from everyone
correct,
to save expenses
correct.
from however they can. Anyway, I just want
And
to
none of
say
it, why none of it would matter if we win the Premier League, let's say in the next 3 seasons. So all
exactly,
these
exactly,
conversations that we are having, ये
exactly,
YouTube channel पे जितने
exactly.
भाई तेरा
videos है, those will
ambition
be irrelevant.
तेरा तेरा
Yeah.
ambition is just like that 3-0 on that graphic. ठीक है.
ए मेरा नहीं है
बहुत
यार,
ही
उन लोग का
unrealistic
प्रोजेक्ट
भाई.
प्रोजेक्ट 150 एंड ऑल दे हैव ना, दैट दे वांट टू विन
Yeah,
द प्रीमियर लीग
but
इन
again,
28.
it's all assumptions. But at least there is a owner who is
Correct.
willing to take good steps for the club, who is finally creating an amazing looking stadium, and not only amazing looking, who has been saying the development for the whole area, not only the stadium. So that is, I feel, you know, glass half full sort of a thing. That this is what I look at this scenario. I
Also, one thing to keep
mean
in
It's
mind
more
is
than half
कि
full. I would say it's more than half full.
yeah.
It's
Optimism
promising.
ठीक है.
Yeah,
Optimism ठीक है, but ultimately government also has to do the necessary approvals. If there are any delays, तो फिर stadium अभी मतलब
यार
बहुत बड़े if के
हम
ऊपर टंगा हुआ है.
हम
but
E-Reds क्या
the
बोलेंगे
Manchester
इस पे?
mayor has said that we support this project. So
हाँ, but
it is just that
yeah.
government पैसे ला पाएगी कि नहीं to do that. Yeah, that is
And
the fact.
government of and the spokesperson of the prime minister has mentioned that they are not aware of any such project as of now, but they're willing to work, or at least look at the proposals which come in. So
We E-Reds wouldn't know until and unless the
yeah.
official headlines would say so. But yeah, it feels good to have an owner who's actually
Doing things.
doing things and creating good atmosphere to win something and to achieve something and like to progress as a club. So yeah, that's all for me for now. Cool. That's all for today's episode. We have been passionately speaking about everything. But so those were our candid reactions. Hope you like the episode. Click on that notification icon, press on that subscribe button, and we'll see you on the next one very soon. Thank you.